When a mother's heartbeat stops on a rainy day, who will awaken her buried memories? Her behavior is just as bizarre. She mindlessly dumps piles of cheese and pork floss into her meals, sticks her bare hands into a burning oven, and only remembers to wake her daughter up for school when she sees the neighbor's kids heading out.
Honey, we're gonna be late for school!
But when she walks into her daughter's room, the little girl looks up at her and calmly says,
Because I'm dead?
That's when it hits her. 3 years ago, her daughter was brutally murdered, yet she still goes through the motions, even wearing pajamas to pick up a child who no longer exists, drawing confused and judgmental stares from the neighbors. Her friends tell her to move on, but she just can't. 3 years ago, on a rainy day, her daughter happily left home with her father. Before they walked out the door, she took a picture of them together. Little did she know, it would be the last photo of her daughter ever taken. Her husband was a psychiatrist who specialized in studying serial killers. That day, he brought their daughter to a prison, where a man who had murdered and eaten at least 30 people was locked up. Just as he was about to conduct a psychological evaluation, the warden suddenly called him away. The iron door shut behind him, leaving his 8-year-old daughter alone in a room with a monster. 3 years passed, but she never recovered. Anxiety, paranoia, and alcohol became her only escape. Her husband eventually left her. She spent her days staring blankly out the window, until one day, a new neighbor moved in across the street. And just like that, her world started shifting. That morning, she woke up to loud knocking. Standing at her door was a rugged, bearded man, holding a bouquet of broccoli.
They're gorgeous, thank you.
Turns out the flowers had been sitting there for a while, and he simply wanted to bring them in for her. As he walked away, she found herself watching him a little too closely. For the first time in years, something flickered inside her. Hope. But what she didn't know was that this man's arrival would shatter her life all over again.